The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off, says Todd Howard over 7 years after announcement. Wow, it's really been 7 years already? That's kinda crazy. I wonder what other Elder Scrolls 6 news there is. Elder Scrolls 6 is a long way off. Might not launch until next generation of consoles. Well, that's kinda sad, but January 7th, 2019, November 10th, 2025. Something's not right here. Where on God's green earth is Elder Scrolls 6? That's the question we're going to be asking today, and I don't think we're going to be receiving any real answers. We haven't since the game was announced. There are many theories as to why Bethesda revealed this iconic shot of a mountain and nothing else at the time. After 7 years of Skyrim, fans had kind of gotten the impression that Bethesda was abandoning its mainline Elder Scrolls fantasy RPG franchise. And so Todd said, all right, let's just tell them we're working on it, throw up a mountain or something, and we'll go from there. It has been 7 years since then. And with the release of Skyrim, today is 11/11/11. So Skyrim released 14 years ago, when I was 17. That's crazy to think about. The amount of time it's been since that reveal trailer is the exact amount of time it's been since Skyrim released. So the last 14 years of the main Elder Scrolls series has consisted of one 30-second trailer, each side separated by 7 years. It's fucking hilarious to kind of think about. Now, to be fair, this was a very cool reveal, a little teaser, just the fog and the logo and the music building up. And, well, goddamn. If that mountain range doesn't look, and look at the castle there. You can see a city far off on the water, what looks like a bridge. And that's it. And that's all you get. That's all we've had. Happy 7 years, everyone. I still think Bethesda wants us to mod this trailer into a playable game. Another few years and Bethesda will release a special edition of this trailer. It is kind of a meme. Okay, so the reason we're talking about Elder Scrolls 6 today is because Todd Howard recently gave an interview to GQ, in which he brings up the 10 years of Fallout 4. So not even Fallout fans, well, they have the TV show. I was gonna say Fallout fans might not be eating so good, but that New Vegas trailer for season 2 looks fucking sick. In any case, I think this highlights a pretty important point that, like, Bethesda is really focused, like, Starfield just did not hit the way Elder Scrolls and Fallout have. And so it really does feel like all they've done is push Elder Scrolls into the MMO direction, right? That's the whole part of the franchise that's getting love. And it just seems like Skyrim's one of the best-selling games of all time. So naturally, you would think, well, let's make more of them. Now, as easy as it is to kind of clown on Bethesda and make fun of this ridiculous time between releases, that is somewhat the industry standard. Doesn't make it acceptable, but look at GTA 6, 100 years in development as well. And then you think about games like Cyberpunk that try to be super ambitious, but then they launch and, well, it takes years to fix that clusterfuck. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why games are taking so much longer to develop. It is kind of concerning to see this in the industry and how, like, he kind of says it right here. We needed a creative reset. It seems like a lot of companies and game developers are in the creative reset mode. Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield. So this article starts off, Todd Howard wants you to know something straight off the bat. The Elder Scrolls 6 is, quote, still a long way off. The game's director is sitting in his home office in Rockville, Maryland, flanked by shelves decorated with game and movie memorabilia. I'm preaching patience, he tells me. I don't want fans to feel anxious. I can understand this because there is such a thing as Valve time. It's ready when it's ready. And we'd rather have, like, a rushed game is forever bad, la 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 da da, Shigeru Miyamoto. Similarly, I'm not just going to shit out a Red Dead 2 review that's like that doesn't live up to the hype. So I get it. There's like expectations, and the longer you make people wait, the higher expectations get. This is kind of why I believe Valve never released a Half-Life 3, is it just kind of ballooned in concept and it became so much of a, like, meme that whatever Half-Life 3 could end up being or would have ended up being might have been disappointing. And I guess we'll see for Elder Scrolls 6. Rather than Skyrim's long-awaited sequel, Todd is here to talk about Fallout 4. Yes. A new game, please, I would like. Also, I don't know how you guys feel. This is just my personal impression of Fallout 4. I do not like the changes they made to like dialogue options, and for that reason alone, I've never played Fallout 4. I don't like playing a Fallout game where my character talks. I like to immerse myself in that role, and also I really don't like the way dialogue options are handled. Is that a hot take? That might be a hot take. What do you think? But he talks about how it made $750 million in its first 24 hours on sale. So, I mean, I might just be in the minority. Maybe people love Fallout 4. We've had over 12 million players in the last year. It's a game that changed much of how the team at Bethesda Game Studios works. And its popularity spawned the Jonathan Nolan-helmed TV adaptation. So perhaps that says something about the time and place Bethesda was in when they released Fallout 4. I mean, you make $750 million in a day. You might stick with that IP and franchise, because that's fucking crazy. But I mean, he says right here, it's a game that changed much of how the team at Bethesda Game Studios works. So I can't really blame them for pursuing this Fallout direction. Like, I mean, a Skyrim TV show or an Oblivion TV show would be pretty cool. We did get an Oblivion remaster, so it's not like they've completely abandoned Elder Scrolls, but man, like, where is it, Todd? It just feels like it's been so goddamn long. You know, you gotta take care of all your children, right? You gotta give each one attention. When asked what they've been working on, Todd says, "We have hundreds of people on Fallout right now with 76 and some other things we're doing, but the Elder Scrolls 6 is the everyday thing." How does it feel to be making the Elder Scrolls games again? I do like to have a break between them where it isn't like a +1 sequel. I think it's also good for an audience to have a break. The Elder Scrolls has been too long, let's be clear, but we want to do something new with Starfield. We needed a creative reset. I can respect some things that Starfield did, especially like its shipbuilding, but I do not want to see the problems in Starfield replicated in a new Elder Scrolls game, right? I want handmade dungeons. I want to be able to actually see my map if I'm going to explore. And I can also respect the idea that you don't just want to sell out the Elder Scrolls IP. Skyrim was a super big deal, and it's important to honor that legacy and that of Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, and Arena. I don't know, in some ways, it's better that I would prefer a franchise not release a bunch of bad video games, right? Imagine if Elder Scrolls just turned into like a yearly annual franchise like Assassin's Creed or something. It would kind of destroy the magic. But the rest of this interview is mostly about Fallout, and who can blame him? But I guess I appreciate at least the acknowledgement.
Because we're not crazy. They did reveal a trailer, right?
Apart from that, news on Elder Scrolls 6 has been very, very few and far between. They did confirm that Skyrim Grandma would be in Elder Scrolls 6. I don't know if that's still in the books because it's been so long. And that's kind of the other thing, right? When you go so long waiting on something, do you even know what it is you're waiting on? What I mean by that is, think of that mountain we saw. Is Elder Scrolls 6 even going to look like this? Did they already have a role for Skyrim Grandma planned? If so, did they already record dialogue or whatever? Still, that is pretty cool. And then when Xbox acquired Bethesda, I believe Phil Spencer said that they'd be making Elder Scrolls 6 a PC and Xbox exclusive. That was 4 years ago. I don't know, they're kind of abandoning console exclusivity entirely at this point, so is that also still up in the air? Yeah, here's another article. In May of 2020, Elder Scrolls 6 news and details are still years away. Now, I get wanting to work on something completely different and like being burnt out and trying to go for a new creative direction. And so I hope Starfield was that sort of creative reset that Bethesda needed. I feel like there's still so many unanswered questions about Elder Scrolls 6. Like, are they gonna learn the right lessons from Fallout 4 and Skyrim? Because I don't really like how Fallout 4 and Skyrim kind of shifted away from those more traditional RPG features. They kind of pushed a bit more to being like an action-adventure game, if that makes sense. At least with the game mechanics. I'm kind of just rambling this video, huh? But I don't know, maybe like this video, Elder Scrolls 6 is just kind of a incoherent mess. Oh yeah, here you go. Sorry, PlayStation owners, Elder Scrolls 6 will be an Xbox PC exclusive. If it ever comes out, that is. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you see how much stuff can change over the years? One has to wonder if the creation engine that Bethesda has been using for all these years, if they've been like retooling that to accommodate a more ambitious Elder Scrolls 6. As Halo Infinite showed us, if you're gonna retool or rework your engine that the game is gonna be built off of, well, you want to have a pretty solid foundation, and I'm no game developer, but I do believe retooling your engines takes a long time, so maybe that's what they've been doing. Todd did say that it's an everyday thing, so I guess we'll just keep waiting. That's all we can do, is just keep waiting. So yeah, where is Elder Scrolls 6? Well, they don't even know, so neither do I. But if I were to hazard a guess, I think yes, they realized, oh shit, it's been 7 years, let's put up a mountain and show that to them, and show them that we're still prioritizing the main Elder Scrolls series. And then they just lost track of time, because time keeps on slipping into the future. That would be my best guess. I don't really think it's anything malicious, or at least I have no reason to think that, but I could definitely see how the pressure and the amount of time it's been that fans have been waiting would add like a new layer of stress on top of this project. In any case, I think it is wildly impressive that we are gonna get a GTA 6 before an Elder Scrolls 6. That to me is pretty funny. But actually, we don't even know that. Who knows? Who knows if we have another delay in the works for GTA 6. Not trying to jinx anything. What do you think about all of this? It's been 14 years since Skyrim, and I found some old footage of me at the midnight release, and it felt right to talk about Skyrim and Elder Scrolls again, but it's hard to even comment on what like the game might be or what it might look like, because we've heard so little about how they're designing it or the story or anything. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. How old were you when Skyrim came out? Like the video if you enjoyed it, it helps out the channel a ton. And subscribe to Actman TV for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Actman signing out. Peace!